it's all stupid. It's just all over stupidness. Like, people don't have to die. Like, there's other ways of sorting problems out.
In 2013, up to 1,000 people a month were victims of knife crime. 400 of those crimes a month were people being seriously injured, sometimes threatened. Last year, 12 young people were murdered in our capital. 7 stabbed, 4 shot, and 1 beaten to death. And I used to teach one of them.
We now know that the 17-year-old killed here yesterday was Champion Gadar. Police were called here to Sandringham Road, very close to a day nursery, to reports of a fight. When they arrived, they found Champion. He'd been stabbed several times and died before he could be rushed to hospital.
Now, although figures for teenage murders have gone down in the capital over the last 4 years, there is still more we need to do in order to reduce those numbers further. One person helping to do this by using local solutions and education with young people to make a difference in their community is Vicky Tolerance and her Street Life project. We followed Vicky to get a very personal perspective on how her knife crime prevention project is having a major impact on many young people in our capital.
Street Life is a 6-week programme which explores the issues of guns, gangs and knives. We look at weapons awareness and the root causes of violence and the impact it has on our communities. We help young people see that they are not powerless and that they can be part of the solution. These young people got fired up about political change and they wanted to meet their local MP.
In my opinion, it's all about opportunity, and nowadays opportunity is not given and the opportunities are slim. So if people don't have opportunities, they think that the only route in life is the bad route, the route that will get you in prison, the route that will get you arrested. So if people don't have that opportunity, then they can't achieve anything in their life.
Sometimes they just take it too far on what they do and they don't understand exactly what they're doing. They're just following other people because they think it's the right thing to do.
There are kids that commit crime because they see no other way through life, and if they need money, then they have to commit crime.
If they're even in songs and stuff, like the song lyrics, like raps and stuff, I think they sort of look up to that and idolise the singers. So they sort of think, well, if they can do it, then I can as well. And I think that's one of the main problems as well.
Admittedly, some young people do not want to be in school. They don't want to sit down in a classroom or multitude of classrooms for 7 hours a day and learn. A lot of them would prefer to be out on the streets causing mayhem with their friends and doing dumbness.
Most of the media, if you see the newspapers or magazines, always negative things they point out. They never point out positive things. It's all most of the things that are big and bold are always negative. There's nothing positive, and if it is, it's always in small print or something. So people just take in what's most there, what's right in front of them.
They're identifying, knife crime has risen and everything, but they're not trying to find ways to prevent it in a way and trying to support children and youth. I just don't think it's correct just to identify. You have to commit action as well.
I blame media for people dying as well, because it's everyone wants the latest things, and if the media didn't put it out in such a way, then people wouldn't be doing certain things to be getting the newest things, if you get what I mean.
I would say that is the reason that every time on the news there's maybe a 15-year-old or 14-year-old boy does something that shocks the nation. It's the reason why they come to a conclusion about all young people from 3 people's actions. Every time something happens, they say young people, young people. They say it in general. They don't say specifically someone done this or someone done that. They say it all together, and we come down in one section. End of the day, if one person does something wrong, we get scrutinized by it, and we are the people that end up taking the blame for the country's mistakes or the country's mishaps. And if I were to ask one question to Lem Brown, it would be why is this happening, and why are we taking the blame in our society today?
there should be like, I don't know, like safe havens or stuff, like projects they can go to, like away from the gang setting. Like, because when they're in the gang setting, and even if a youth worker or a police officer was to go and engage with them, they wouldn't really open up. But I think there should be, like, I don't know, a sort of project or something that works with young people who are like vulnerable to that sort of exploitation, in order to just make them more aware of the dangers that could result in danger.
They try to make us more independent as people, but sometimes those people who do commit that knife crime actually need more support. I think just leave them on their own is not good. You have to support people, like especially children, because we're still developing.
You should start giving young people more opportunities, more jobs, so they don't do stupid things like selling weed and guns and knives for money.
I personally think having people like Tracy Smartford talk to groups of children, I think that would help them as well. Because it made us lot think, and like we didn't really pay any attention to it before, but after we had her talk to us, it opened us up and it made us realise that crime can affect everyone in different ways.
It's like, do you know the riots? In my opinion, not because I'm a young person, but that wasn't the young people's fault. What set it off was what happened with the police officer and the young boy. If that never happened, then the riots would never have happened. But the media concentrate on us, like, for example, young people stealing, but look what the banks are doing. Aren't banks taking people's money, doing this? The government are there taking other people's money, putting tax and stuff higher, making other... There's just so much, but I just can't say it all. But the government are partly to blame for everyone. Like, the government do bad things, but it's not noticed. But when young people do bad things, it's blown out of proportion. It's just massive.
As she was saying, like the government, like they make taxes higher, then people get less money, and like some young people, they want to help out like with their family. They think they can do something, so then it turns into them like doing like selling drugs, getting into gangs just so they can earn some money, so they can help out.
Well, the government look at us as bad people because we're young. Like, I began to look at it as they have no choice to look at us as like it's not a problem in society, but something that they have to try and fix, for example, because at the moment, because of all the problems that we discussed, like it made me think, well, really, we can't just blame the government for what they have to do to us to make up for the things that we do, but instead we have to blame ourselves because of what we do for them to have to make up for it.
You're all aware that Aisha lost a friend yesterday. How has it made you feel about the whole knife gang, crime stuff?
It's just made me feel like it's all stupid. It's just all over stupidness. Like, people don't have to die. Like, there's other ways of sorting problems out, not by stabbing someone or shooting them. Like, that person could have done something in the future that could have made a difference, but now we would never know because they're gone.
I was really concerned back in 2005, 2006, but probably longer than that, about the amount of young people that are losing their lives to knife and gun crime. And I wanted to do something positive about it, which was more than seeing them being arrested, seeing them getting involved more in crime, and better than seeing more of them lose their lives and feel that they have no alternative than to go down the route of crime. We've done work with Ray and Vi Donovan of the Chris Donovan Trust. They lost their son who was murdered. And through them, we've been able to get them come into the schools and do workshops with us and help the children to understand that there is another way.
You come to a hill in the road, come the opposite way, was a gang of 14 boys and girls. And as they met, there was no threat. What they could see, the gang opened up. Phil went through first, and the youngest one punched him in the face for no reason, broke his nose. And Phil, without thinking, he didn't know what he'd done. He did that. But the doctor said he kicked his nose back in. He broke his nose, and the pain was so severe he collapsed. The two boys started kicking him, and they kicked him unconscious. Chris went to Safefield. This is another ID we had from me call. Chris went to Safefield. Two boys got in front. There was a bit of a fight. Another one got behind, got him on the floor. They stamped on his head, kicked him in the face, left him there. Two cars came over the hill. One avoided him, and Phil woke up from his being unconscious and saw this. The second car came. She said in call, she thought it was a bundle of rags on the road. She ran over him, his belt cord and exhaust pipe, she dragged him 40 metres down the road. While we're hearing this, the doctors just come in and they said to us, we're doing all we can, then the panic starts.
Yeah.
But Chris, we're looking at severe brain injury because he's lost a lot of oxygen to the brain.
It was all happening so fast, it felt surreal. It felt as if this is somebody else's nightmare, this can't be ours.
I would tell you now, the youngest boy wanted respect and the others trying to work his way out the game. Yeah. But when we were in the hospital, we were sitting in him at 20 to 4 in the morning. We knew, not just the doctors, but when the police came in and the hospital chaplain came in, we knew. It's like you see on TV. And they just said they did all they can and Chris would die. We were just sitting in the room.
People who do these things, they don't know. You see people like us on the telly, and it's all so often, but you don't know
what we go through.
What people go through. You have no idea. And I think that's why we talk in schools and we talk to young people, because they need to see the face. You need to come on the journey with us.
We call it a ripple effect.
This is the journey that people go through.
I think the most telling thing of all was the incredibly powerful stories that the victims were able to portray to young people that really held their attention and really brought home to them the damage that knife gang culture and gun crime can have an effect not just on families but on communities as well.
We've been talking to people who have maybe witnessed knife crime, maybe people who have been involved in knife crime. We've seen two parents who had their son killed by youths on the street for no reason. We've seen a person that stabbed someone and killed. So basically it's an all-round basis. We've seen it from different angles. So yeah, we've got a good picture.
We asked the young people to come up with 5 questions to ask their local MP, Lynn Brown. These were the questions that they asked. Only a minority of young people are involved in gangs and crime. How can we prevent the stereotyping of young people from limiting the opportunities of young people who are not involved in gangs? What can be done to ensure that there are enough jobs for young people and that young people feel confident that they will get these jobs, so the lure of the gang as a way of making money can be reduced? How can we help the police to engage with young people? How can we prevent gang membership rising in our local area? And how would you ensure witness protection in order to break the wall of silence around serious crimes?
So basically what happened was we came here in the morning, we got a tour around the House of Parliament, we got a bit of information. Then we got taken into a room where we met Lynn Brown, our local MP in Newham, and then we talked to her about some of the problems and issues that we've been facing, and we've put forward some questions, and we hope that she could answer them, and yeah, she answered them really well.
She said things about the witness protection and how there's a specialised unit in Newham that deals with witness protection. And she also told us about raising aspirations and sort of getting young people noticed in Newham for good things as opposed to the bad things that they were also noticed for.
We asked her why young people are quite so stereotyped for crime that goes on in Newham and how we can stop that stereotype and help young people to get past it and use the opportunities that are available for us and perhaps give us more opportunities.
She seemed really convincing with her answers when we asked her the question.
She basically gave us like answers like how we could progress forward, what we could do, solutions that are maybe long-term but not so close. So yeah, all her answers were quite good, but for the stereotype one, she really agreed with us. She said that, yeah, there's a minority of young people that commit crimes, and they shouldn't be stereotyped, and maybe it's the media that are causing this to happen. Maybe if the newspapers weren't producing all these good stories, then they would be out of business.
I think we'd just like to carry the message on, and this is just the beginning of our journey, so we'd like to get other young people involved and just raise awareness of the issue, because it really does affect everyone.
I think it's just taught me that, like, not to give into negative mindsets, because before I used to think that one person or maybe a group perhaps couldn't really make a difference in life, but now that I've spoken to Lynn Brand and she said that she might put ideas forward, I believe that, like, there's still more to come, and because of this I think it will help a lot of people to understand that, like, knife crimes is not the way to solve your problems.
I just try and make them realise that it affects you really badly, and just try and make them aware of what it can do to you and your family if you get into a situation like what happened to Champion and stuff like that.
So, a very personal and different perspective on a knife crime prevention project right here in our capital. If you'd like to know more about the Street Life project, do contact Vicky. The details are at the bottom of the screen now, and I do urge you to do that. Until next time, take care.
We can make a change. Stand up, we make the change.